Anyhow, to explain why I'm not a libertarian, it stands to reason that I begin by describing what exactly libertarianism is, right? And so here's an attempt to stillman it.
Why do I have a feeling this is going to be epic fail?
Now, what exactly liberty means depends on the libertarian, as traditional libertarians sought to abolish capitalism and private property.
Nope, 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 nope! Right off the bat, we already have a long-debunked myth. Not off to a good start.
But a fair summation of all libertarians is that they seek maximum freedom of the individual and minimum authority of government.
The definition of libertarianism is a political philosophy based on a consistent universal application of the non-aggression principle. Once, just once, can you morons get at least that part right?
This is why I'm not a libertarian. One of the most eloquent and convincing summations of the libertarian philosophy that I've ever heard of comes from Walter Edward Williams. Walter fell out of the right vagina at the right time. He inherited a biological and/or socio-economic advantage that he did not earn, and thus he does not deserve all of the fruit of his labour.
Are you kidding me? Did you even bother to look this guy up? Walter Williams grew up a poor black kid in the Philadelphia housing projects raised by a single mother. He pretty much ticks off almost every single box the social justice warriors have for non-privileged.
But the only reason they seek such a society, Rules argued, is because of their lucky circumstances. They've been dealt good biological and socio-economic cards, and as such, they stand to lose a card or two should society attempt to equalise the hands of those less fortunate.
Wow, you have done precisely zero research, have you? Crack open an economics book.
Thus, this is the primary reason I'm not a libertarian.
Because you're an ignoramus who goes with his fifis and not economic theory and empirical data showing that socialist policies only make everybody poorer. Yeah, that always seems to be how this goes.
Thus, I'm convinced that some of the fruit of my labour should go to those less fortunate.
Then donate to a charity! That's how you can really be compassionate, but you don't want to, do you? You want to point guns at other people and force them to give to the people you think are needy. That's not generosity. That's selfish, narcissistic, immoral bullying.
The second reason I'm not a libertarian is because I don't believe in natural rights, which I would argue is the very bedrock of libertarianism.
Then you don't believe in logic and reason. The non-aggression principle, self-ownership, and all of the natural rights that flow from these come from an unbroken chain of logic from the law of non-contradiction and the consistency principle. Libertarianism is the only political philosophy based on consistent, universally applicable ethics.
If it wasn't, then all of morality would come down to arbitrary private contracts, and libertarians certainly don't believe that this is the case. They hold that we are born with certain inalienable rights, namely life, liberty, and, in most cases, property. But I see absolutely no justification for this.
Then do some basic research! It's not as if we haven't made videos, written books, produced podcasts, and made all sorts of material for decades explaining this.
And so to those of you who are libertarian and non-religious, I'd like to ask a question. What makes you think we're born with natural rights?
I've already explained this. Years ago. It's all in my video, Libertarianism and Property Rights from First Principles. And this is just one of numerous times libertarians have explained this. You apparently haven't even looked at one of these. Whereas this is yet one more case of the numerous times we libertarians have watched your videos or read your books or whatever to find out what you say and why you say it. And we find all of these pathetically easy to refute. So who do you think is more likely to get it right? People who listen to the other side, reason through it, and post intellectual refutations? Or people like you who don't even bother to research the basics?
As it stands, I maintain that Thomas Hobbes got it right when he said that in the absence of a social contract, life is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short.
Which has been disproven empirically. But please, hold on to your religion. Yes, I know, you claim to be an atheist, but you're displaying precisely the same sloppy thinking that religious people do. All you've done is replace God with the state.
The third reason I'm not a libertarian is because I don't believe in libertarian free will.
Oh wow, a determinist. So if I whack you upside the head, you have no right to complain because it's not my fault. I was predetermined to do this.
On top of the fact that we're not responsible for the biological and socio-economic characteristics that we possess, I also don't think we're responsible, in the libertarian sense, for anything.
You don't want to believe you're responsible, because as you made it clear earlier in this video, you don't like the fact that it's up to you to make life better and overcome whatever obstacles are put in your way.
To use Rawlsian terminology, I might be entitled to most of the fruit, but I don't deserve them, and I certainly don't deserve all of them.
And just what do you mean by deserve? Deserve according to whom? People get money in a free market by engaging in voluntary exchange. The people who consume your good or service believe that the benefit they get from it is worth more than the money they give up. If they didn't, they wouldn't have done it. So your entire philosophy is based on the fact that they don't get to decide for themselves who deserves their money. But here's the problem. If they don't get to decide, then how does someone else, someone who isn't even involved in the interaction? Because those are the only two possibilities. Either the person with the money decides who is best deserving of their money, or someone else is. This is just one of numerous ways determinism fails basic consistency checks. Not to mention the fact that it's impossible under the universe's laws of physics. In fact, this very video is a refutation of it. You're giving reasons why you're not a libertarian. But if determinism is true, then there's only one reason. It was predetermined that you not believe in it.
If we're deterministic entities,
we're not.
Libertarianism simply doesn't work.
And yet, as we've seen empirically, it does. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, why not hit like and subscribe? And to make sure I can keep producing content, support this channel by becoming a patron. And check out all the other great content here, like this video selected especially for you.